And you are listening to KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. Mid-Missouri source for in-depth news, diverse talk, and music of the world. It is more than radio. It is community radio. Coming to you live on your radio dial, 89.5 FM, and streaming on the internet, of course, at kopn.org. It's just about 9 o'clock on Friday, October the 12th, 2018. My name is Mike Hagan. This is Open Mic Radio. I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. That's a nice song, getting things going here this morning, called Checkered Wings and Tail. And that's a song that was written and performed by my friend Pippa Letsky, who happens to be standing right up here in the radio station studio with me. Good morning, Pippa.
Good morning, Mike. I like the name of your show, Open Mic Radio. That's great. I love it.
Love it. I was trying to come up with something a few months ago, and it turns out that the door's always open, and you never know who's going to roll in anyway. So,
yeah.
You know.
Open mic, yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Well, I'm sure glad that you had a chance to come down and talk this morning, and we're going to play some songs from your new record and maybe a couple of old things. But before we get going, I want to do essentially a proper interview with you and find out a little bit more about you, because I've known you for a few years from here at the station and just kind of around town, because you get out and about quite a bit. But I don't even, well, I kind of know where you're from, but for the people out there who don't, where are you from originally? Because you have a beautiful accent.
That's it. Did you want the long version or the short version?
How about the headline?
I was born south of London in a place called Crawley, which is where the Gatwick Airport is now in England. I left there when I was 6 months old, and I grew up in Montreal until I was 3, Vancouver until I was 5.5. I did 6 months in England, which was crazy, and then went to Australia until I was 10.5. Came back to England, didn't like England. Cold, wet and rainy. After Australia, oh gosh.
Oh, man.
Tough. You know, I don't know if you've ever read Heidi, but when she comes down from the mountain and has to live in the city, that's how I felt coming from Australia and having to live in southern England.
I used to live in southern Germany, very close to where that all that Sound of Music stuff was filmed, and it's beautiful. And then you got to go down into Berlin or Munich or something, which are nice cities, but still.
So you have to be a city person rather than a top of the mountain person.
That's right.
Yeah, it was tough going to England, and then did school in Guildford, south of London, and then university in Norwich, and then worked in London for a bit, and then went to teach English stuff foreign language in Italy. I know a bit of trivia
that maybe you don't know about your college.
What's that?
Do you know there's another local girl here that went to the same school?
Yes, she did. Yeah, I know. It's like, what are you doing here?
And for those unaware,
married an American.
We're talking about Miss Diana Moxon, who will be on the air here in about 55 minutes.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. She does a program called Speaking of the Arts at 10 o'clock. So stick around after this program. Diana will be talking to a couple of people, I'm sure, about some interesting things that are happening around town in the arts scene. And I'll be running the board for her, so I'll be here too. Okay. So college in
University of East Anglia, UEA.
UEA. Okay. And then eventually made your way over here. How'd you get to Columbia?
I married an American.
I see.
I was in Italy teaching English as a foreign language, and he was studying vet medicine in Italy, Parma, and graduated, and we came here, because he had to do something called the ECFVG, which is the English Certificate for Foreign Trained Veterinary Graduates. He was American.
Wow.
But they had to do qualification stuff here and the boards and everything else like that. And we had a little girl, and we came here, and then he left and I stayed.
Interesting. Where is your daughter still around?
Yeah, she's in D.C. Oh. She's a big grown-up girl in D.C., 34 or something like that.
Wow.
She's amazing. She is an amazing woman.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her.
All right, cool. Good for you. Hey, before we keep going further, I want to say thank you to my guest, Kristen Williams, who was here last week. And I promised that I would mention that her project, the Hempsley Health Heart of Health Exchange, is kind of coming up on their finale, which is tomorrow at Logboat. So if you're interested in that, just go and do a web search for Hempsley. And Kristen, thanks for coming down. Love that girl's energy. She's got a lot of enthusiasm for sure. Okay, so back to my guest here, Ms. Pippa.
Support all musicians and artists, and
I love it. Is there music in your background, like family and friends, or how'd you get into music originally?
My dad played the piano. Well, he played pretty much anything that he turned his hand to. He played piano. He played bassoon at school.
Bassoon, yeah. That's one you don't hear very often.
And he played piano accordion. So they used to have square dances. They'd roll back the rugs and invite people over, and he'd play accordion. And the Canadian ambassador, one of the Canadian ambassadors or something, played the fiddle, and so they had square dances in the house. That was in Australia. But my mum sang sweet old folk songs, and my dad would play the piano, and it was lovely going to bed hearing them play.
Well, the accordion's always been a fascinating thing to me. It looks to me, like, oh my God, how do you play it? There's so many different buttons on it and things, but anyway.
He had the piano keyboard on the right and the boom-pa buttons on the left, and then you squeeze in and out. I think his instrument was the same note in or out, but there are some that if you go out is one note and in is
like a
another
harmonica
one.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, that's an instrument that hasn't. I'm sure there are people that still play it, but you don't see it like you used to hear it quite a bit back in the day.
Yeah, in the Irish session, we got an Irish session on the last Saturday of the month from 3 to 6 p.m. down at Paddy Malone's Irish pub in Jefferson City. It's just down and up the hill from the Capitol. Mm-hmm. Paddy Malone's on the last Saturday of the month, 3 to 6. We got an accordion player and a concertina player. It's good sound. It's a really good sound, with the fiddles and the whistles. Oh.
Well, I know you like Celtic music, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure you know Carol. And have you ever subbed and done Carol's show?
Yeah.
I think I've heard you do that before. That's probably a lot of fun for you.
She's a good musician too, but she doesn't play very much anymore.
I didn't know that. I mean, I know she sure knows a lot about music, especially the stuff from the British Isles. But I didn't really know that she was a performer as well.
Well, she was originally. I don't think she's played out for a very long time, but she used to be. Yeah.
All right. So you had music all around when you were a kid. That seems to be a common theme with people who tend to have music in their life as they get older. I ask everybody, and they say, "Oh yeah, man, my dad did this, my mom did that, and my uncle did this, or my brother, or whatever." You know.
Well, I started piano when I was 7. And struggled with the straight learning mechanism. I never learned to sight read. I can read, que, buh, that says cab. Okay, cab, vroomf, but that I can't read cab,
Right.
So I can't sight read, and I learned all my tunes by memory, by ear, because I'm an ear performer.
Well, if you have a good ear, I mean, that's worth its weight,
Yeah, but then I memorized all my tunes, played them by ear, and now I can't play them because it was, a long time ago now.
How many different instruments do you play? I know fiddle's your fave, or at least your primary,
fiddle,
maybe.
guitar, and mandolin, pretty much. And I work things out on the piano anymore.
I see. Mandolin, that's another one that...
It's pretty.
Beautiful instrument.
Yeah.
My friend Kevin, who I play some music with, he plays the mandolin. And he's a pretty big guy, and he has big hands. And I always think, how the hell do you play that thing?
It's so tiny.
Yeah, it's so small, and the frets are so close. And that's a great... really neat instrument, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's sweet. If someone asks me to sit in and I don't know what they're doing, mandolin is the one to play, because whatever you do sounds pretty.
Yeah.
And you can chop chords and play a little bit of melody and stuff. But yeah.
Now, are you a teacher as well? Were you a professor?
I was. Not anymore.
No? At the university here? Huh.
I wasn't a professor. I taught Italian.
Taught Italian?
Yeah, I was 6 years in Italy teaching English.
And you learned Italian while you were there?
I learned Italian while I was there. And it's the same, teaching a foreign language to people in that foreign language, it's pretty much the same thing whether you're Italian, French, or English.
So you're learning their language at the same time they're learning yours, I guess, right?
Yeah, at the time, no, because I had to stay in English when I was teaching.
I see.
I couldn't go into Italian. I went into Italian outside the classroom.
Did you speak Italian or have any background?
No, I was deaf and dumb for a year. I did a lot of mime. I did a heck of a lot of mime. And the one thing was, there's this awful word for a toothbrush. I ran out of my toothbrush got so old I needed a new toothbrush. I kept asking, how do you say toothbrush in Italian? They say spazzolino. So I go, spazzolino, spazzolino, spazzolino. And then I go into the chemist and pharmacy, forget it. And I was not going to mime. I was the one point where it was like, I am not going to say voglio uno di queste, and clean my teeth in mime in a pharmacy. So I ended up with an old toothbrush for a very long time. I should have written it down.
Oh, man. Did you, have you ever played music when you've been overseas?
Yeah, that's where I found out that the music I liked was called bluegrass music, because there was a bunch of guys called the Bluegrass Boys.
The Bluegrass Boys. And where were they?
They were in Parma.
In
Italia.
Italy.
Yeah.
Interesting. It wouldn't be the first place you'd think you'd find them.
Oh, there's bluegrass in Japan. There's bluegrass everywhere. And they did the same songs as I was doing. And they said it's bluegrass. And I went, oh, really? I had no clue that the tunes I was picking out off of rock and roll albums and old country albums, old, rural country,
right,
was bluegrass. So that's where I found out the music I liked was called bluegrass. And then I came here and landed in the middle of bluegrass country. Yeah,
I'm telling you, there's some great bluegrass music around here. In fact, I was telling you off the air that me and a friend went to St. Louis last night, and we saw a band called the Infamous String Dusters. And they're more like a jam band kind of with very skilled bluegrass players, for sure. But it's one of the first time I've seen a bluegrass. They didn't have a mandolin. They had a guitar, a fiddle, fantastic banjo player, a guy playing the dobro or resonator, and then a stand-up bass. But damn, boy, I tell you what, they tore it up. Really, 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 really great. And a lot of great stuff around here. I was at Did you go to any of the Roots and Blues stuff a couple weeks ago?
No, I had a lot of gigs.
Yeah, well, there was some darn
night.
good bluegrass country / root stuff that went on that weekend too.
Yeah, roots and stuff.
Well, hey, let's play a song before we talk anymore. I'm going to play something off of your new record here, right? You have a new album?
I do. It's coming out. It got stuck on the cover. I finally figured the cover. I just haven't produced it yet. I do everything myself, and so the CDs, all my CDs are available from me at gigs. I don't, and they're all homegrown.
Yeah, and
homegrown albums.
Also, is there a contact place? I think you can get your CDs online if you wanted, right?
Yeah, pippaletsky.com.
All right, that's PIPPALETSKY. PippaLetsky.com.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with Ms. Letsky here in just a minute, and right now we are going to hear what's the first track on your new record? Because I don't have the
It's the
name.
title song. It's called Seagulls.
All right, this is the
It's
title.
sparse.
All right, here you go.
Imagine a beach on Ireland looking across to America.
It'd be nice on a day like today. We've got kind of a
Gray.
gloomy gray
Yeah.
morning. It's going to be kind of chilly this weekend, so we're going to go to the beach right now with Pippa Letsky. This is Seagulls from her new record. You listen to it on KOPN Columbia 89.5 FM, Open Mic Radio. All right, that's the title track from Pippa's new record called Seagulls.
Yeah.
Very nice. I did
Thank
get
you.
the feeling of being on the beach when I heard that.
Yeah, you got that lonesome banjo, and then suddenly the waves start crashing in on the guitar. It's
That's
like,
great.
oh.
So who's involved on that recording with you?
That is my fiddle band, 3x3, 3 around 3. 3 around 3 is a fiddle tune from England that I got, and it's Bill Foley on banjo and Cliff White on guitar. Cliff has his own band called River Ridge String Band with his wife Molly White.
Cool.
They're from Jefferson City. Bill Foley plays with a whole bunch of good people. I mean, Howard Marshall and a whole bunch of... He plays all the time. And we have a jam session on the second Saturday of every month. We have a fiddler's jam from 4 until 6, and then a potluck dinner, carry-in dinner from 6 to 7, and then a square dance with whoever's there to play for the square dance. And people call the dance. Starts with a Virginia reel every single time.
And that's the one down in Jeff City you were
No,
talking?
this is up in Hallsville.
Oh, Hallsville.
Second Saturday of the month, up in Hallsville. It's meeting this year in the school cafeteria, the high school cafeteria.
Nice.
And it's the second Saturday the jam session starts at 4. The doors open at 4, and it's a fiddler's jam. A lot of really good beginner children. There was beginner students of, it was started by John White, who was an old-time fiddler from here. He passed last year, I believe, or a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. And he had this jam session primarily for kids learning old-time fiddle. So you had a lot of different level beginners at the Fiddler's Jam from 4 till 6. And there is one young man there who is just a phenomenal fiddler. He's been a fiddler all his life. He picked up, he's just really, really good. His name is Ethan... somebody.
Hey, do they still do the thing at Broadway Brewery?
Yeah.
Is there a jam there every once in a while?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
1 to 4.
You do that sometimes, don't you?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time I can.
If you're available, you do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If I'm available, I do the. Yeah.
Well, you're keeping busy.
Oh, I love this music. It's my drug. It's better than heroin.
You ever done heroin? Okay. So
No, I'm not speaking from personal experience, but I know it's a lot less risky.
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Chris's show? Saturday night, the Blues on Broadway, and he starts
he
off
does
with
a good show.
with that
You get high on music.
high on music.
No,
right?
anybody died from overdose.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
his
a really
title
good song.
track.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, cool. So,
That's 8 till 11 or 9 till 11?
8 or 9. I think it's 8 till 11 on Saturday night. So
Blues
that's
on Broadway. He does a
Chris
wonderful.
Brier, fantastic blues.
He really
knowledge.
knows his
He plays
blues,
some great stuff. He's real fun on the air too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of that, you do a KOPN radio show as well.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
What's it called?
It's called Music of the World.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're listening to KOPN 89.5 FM, Mid-Missouri's source of in-depth news divers, talking music of the world.
See, every time we read that now, we're doing free advertising for Pippa. That's the reason she set it up that way. She doesn't. People don't realize it, but they're advertising her show every time they read the top of the hour thing here.
Yeah.
So
it happens once or twice a month. It's the 3rd and 5th Tuesdays, 3 to 5 on a Tuesday.
All right.
There's a strip on Tuesday afternoon, 3 to 5, called Anything Goes.
Right.
And we
Yeah,
have
Big
Rockabilly.
Big Cat Matt does the Rockabilly show the first Tuesday. Then you do
The 3rd and
the
5th.
third.
The
What's
3rd
on the second?
and the 5th.
3rd and the 5th.
Yeah.
If there's a 5th.
Second, I don't know the first hour. The second hour is Pandora's Box with Daria.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4th Tuesday is Missouri River Cultural Conservancy, MoRivCC. Ron Penny and Mike Robertson and Dave Lineberry.
Yeah, those guys do great stuff.
Yeah. And then the second hour is Daria doing Pandora's Box.
Okay. All right. So,
Yeah. By the way, thank you very much for having me on the show.
You're welcome. This is great.
I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, for people who are not familiar with Pippa's show, it's great. She basically does exactly what the show description says. She plays music from all around the world,
outside the borders of America,
outside the U.S. Yeah. Tell people about how long have you been doing that?
Oh, I don't know.
You've been doing the show for a long time. Huh? 15 years?
No,
10.
No. I did bluegrass. I did the bluegrass show for 30 years.
Yeah.
2016. So it's probably I've been doing the Music of the World a year, 2 years.
Oh, all right. I was thinking that you'd been doing it longer than that, but it's because you've been on the air for so long and you used to do your bluegrass show. How come you're not doing bluegrass anymore?
30 years is long enough.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
30 years is long enough. People would say, "What on earth do you do on a Sunday night? Don't you miss getting out and going to the station at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night?" It's like,
you had a great alias. What was it?
BG Brown.
That's right.
BG for Brown. Bluegrass.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, what about influences? Like, who were your favorite people when you were growing up? Like, what did you like to listen to?
Oh, I listened to a lot. Harry Belafonte. I was going to marry Harry Belafonte when I was 6. Oh, I was so in love with that man. Big crush, Harry Belafonte. Classical music. My mother listened to classical music. They also listened to, I don't know, everything. My brother listened to the blues. Giles listened to the blues. So I grew up listening to Lead Belly and Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee and Mississippi John Hurt, C.C. Houston. Who else? The Beatles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Beatles. I saw the Beatles.
Wow. That's one that I sure wish I could say the same. I mean, I was talking with somebody, I don't know, the other day, and we were commenting on how fresh that music still is. It's crazy. You can hear stuff in the beat. You're like, what an incredible song.
Yeah.
And so many different styles and things that they did long before the technology, that people use now with software and things to make new. They were just incredibly innovative and remarkable. And the engineers and sound guys
George
they
Martin,
worked with were really amazing too.
Yeah. They sound songs sound very simple, but actually they're not jamming tunes. They're really complicated.
Yeah, I play a little bit of guitar, and there's very few Beatles songs that I can kind of just pick up and play all the way through. I mean, they're much harder than I thought they were.
Yeah, they seem fundamental, way down deep fundamental, but they're not. They're complex.
Yeah. All right, so.
Songwriting teams.
How about songwriting? Do you write most of your things alone, or do you write with other people, or a little bit of both? Or
we've come to the end in August. We came to the end of a songwriting partnership that was from 2010 till 2018. We got the dumpster collection agency outside.
Every Friday about 9:20, 9:30, I can be sure that I'm going to get interrupted by the trash can guy just dumping the giant trash dumpster into his truck. Yeah.
Trash can guy. So my neighbor, he's about 4 doors down the road, and he sent me some words. He said, "This is my first attempt at a bluegrass tune." And I said, "Oh, have you got a melody for it?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Would you like a melody for it?" And he said, "Well, I've never worked in a collaboration before." And so I put the melody to it, and it's just a really good tune. It's a really good song. So we were writing Odell Letsky. Steve Odell is his name, and my name's Letsky. So Odell Letsky songs, we've got a whole bunch of them.
Really?
And we had a band for a while, but bands are hard. I mean, you practice all the time, practice every week, and then you have these gigs, and everybody gets tired of each other.
You got to keep everybody on the same page.
We worked in the band for 5 years, and that's long enough.
Yeah, okay.
It was a lot of commitment, a lot of angst.
Well, you can always move into something new. That's what you're doing now, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do the melodies. I don't do words. He does superb words. His words are just phenomenal. But I don't do words. I just do melodies.
How do you write? Are you a prolific writer? Can you just sit down and write a song, or do they sort of come to you, and or do you have a methodology where you actually sit down and do it? Or
no, it kind of happens in the cracks, because I was teaching, but I'm also an editor, so I still have to make money. Music does not make money, so I make money, and then when I can, and then sometimes I just get depressed. I just get kind of feeling like I'm constipated. My life is constipated. I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And I get restless, and that's usually a sign that something's coming up. A tune is coming on the way. If I go after them, they don't really have the same sense of fluidity.
Yeah.
They tend to bubble up best. Right. The best is for them to bubble up. And I noticed that with my little recorder stick now, when I'm looking for a tune, I'm grabbing at things before they really have that. The word is numinous. A kind of a depth feeling.
So you have a little recording device that you can kind of make quick notes if you come up with a melody or something like that?
Yeah, I catch them before they disappear.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had melodies come up, and I've never been able to capture them. The first one I ever did capture, I remembered it long enough to take it back home to my husband's saxophone teacher, Maestro Porti in Italia. Maestro Porti, he wrote down the notes for me, and that's the first one I was ever able to capture. And that's on the first album. That's on the Tunes for My Dad album.
All right.
The fiddle album.
All right, well, I'm going to play a couple more from your new record, but I think we're going to play track 2 and 3.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come back and we will talk a little bit about what's going on around town tonight and tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of things going on. So maybe you and me can chat, because there's probably some people that you know and that I know. And
I'm playing tonight, too.
And are you really? Okay, so we're going to talk about what's going on tonight and tomorrow around town. And then we'll spend some more time with my friend Pippa. All right, it's Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
To, I almost said Radio Orbit. I got the wrong night. All right, you listen to Open Mic Radio on KOPN Columbia. Pippa Letsky is my guest, and you can find information about her on the web at Pippa Letsky, Letsky, and that's Pippa, pippaletsky.com. And you can also check her out on the 3rd and 5th Tuesday of every month doing Music of the World. It's a fantastic radio program, and I like to listen to it, and you
on KOPN.
Should too. That's right, on KOPN Columbia. All right, back in a few minutes. right, there's a couple from Pippa Letsky's new record called Seagulls. And it's Mike. You're listening to Open Mic Radio on KOPN Columbia. Let me get a couple of pieces of business taken care of here, and we'll be back in a minute.
This program is brought to you by listener support and a donation from the Columbia Missourian, publisher of Vox Magazine. Vox Magazine provides insight on local entertainment, dining, events, and nightlife. Published every Thursday, Vox is inserted in the Columbia Missourian and made available at over 230 locations downtown and on MU's campus. Music, dining, news, movies, and events. When you need to know what's happening after your workday, Vox has the answers. In print every Thursday or online anytime at voxmagazine.com.
Back at you here. It's about 9:35 on the 12th of October, Friday morning. And let's do a quick rundown of what's happening tonight and tomorrow. At the Blue Note tonight, Whitey Morgan, who I love, is a
real deal.
Ameripolitan.
That's right.
That's what Woody calls it. Yeah. And anyway, this guy Whitey Morgan and the 78s, I think it is, but they're fantastic. Anyway, that's tonight at the Blue Note. Speaking of what's going on tonight, you're playing as well.
I'm playing at Como Smoke and Fire, the barbecue place out on Paris Road. I think it's 4600 Paris Road.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And
barbecue.
Real good food out there
real
too.
Real good barbecue.
Yeah.
6 to 9.
6 to 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
solo? Oh, actually, I may not be solo. I think I'm got a djembe player coming. I'm hoping.
Right on.
Yeah, I haven't confirmed with him. I should.
All right. If you're out for dinner tonight, Como Smoke and Fire, or if you're going out for a beer, go down there and you can check out Pippa. And she'll be playing some music for 3 hours. You get to see a bunch of her stuff tonight. Okay. All right. The Rose Music Hall, of course, you got Happy Hour. The Norm Rubling Band will be playing at 5 o'clock. Probably not outside because the weather's getting kind of ugly today. Yeah. Tomorrow, Jameson Rogers. Oh, I'm sorry. That's tonight after the Happy Hour thing. So that's the late show tonight at 8 o'clock. Jameson Rogers and the Preston Airy Band. What else?
There's a benefit on Sunday. Can I mention?
Sure, anything.
It's 2 until 5 or 2:30 to 5:30. I've seen various different times at the Rose Music Hall. It's a benefit for Doc Kim Fight.
Yes, yeah, I have that on.
Yeah,
okay.
With the fried crawdaddies playing.
Right.
But there's massage, chair massage, and a whole bunch of goodies. It's a big benefit.
Really? Mm-hmm. So for people who aren't familiar, Doc Kim, who was that?
Oh, she was one of the finest. She is one of the finest healers we have in Columbia. She studied at the Logan School of Chiropractic, so she's a chiropractor, but she also does acupuncture, and she also teaches the Chinese 5 elements classes. So she's communicated, and she's been my healer since my little girl was 3 and had terrible ear infections. 5. She had terrible ear infections, and the medical profession was not helping and not healing, and Kim healed her in 3 sessions.
Fantastic.
3 sessions. We'd been working with the medical profession for years and years and years.
Isn't that something else?
3 sessions. She is, her knowledge is phenomenal, and there are so many people who owe so much physical health peacefulness to Doc Kim.
And
she's fighting a big bully.
Yeah,
big bully disease.
All right, so if you get a chance, come out and support that. It's a great benefit for Doc Kim. That'll be with the Fried Crawdaddies, so you get some great music as well, and probably some other things going on down there as well, right?
Yeah, a whole bunch of money-making enterprises.
Okay. All right.
CDs for sale. Right. T-shirts for sale.
Right on. So that's Sunday, October 14th, and that's in the afternoon as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Rose Music Hall.
Rose Music Hall, for sure. Mm-hmm. Did you know Forrest Rose and what was Wheeler, Jerome Wheeler?
Yes.
Right? Both of those fellows.
Yes.
Yeah. They were. That was before my time, but they were supposed to be fantastic guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had 3 deaths in 2005. It was Jerome Wheeler on the 20th of February, Forrest Rose on the 20th of March, 28 days almost to the hour, and Ken Shepard in July the 20th, all on the 20th.
Weird.
Yeah, 2005.
What's today, the 12th? Okay, we got 8 days.
We're okay. Right. And it's not 2005 anymore.
Enjoy the next week and a day, all right? You never know. Okay. All right. So let's see. Not much happening at Berlin. Looks like they've got something going on Sunday. The Station House out at Catfish Katie's. Boone Howlers tomorrow afternoon at 2. And then the Andrew Seif Band tomorrow night. Cooper's, it looks like, is shut down for the weekend. We weren't sure about it, but looks like Mike put a note up on the website that says they're flooded.
The roads are underwater.
And the roads are underwater. So nothing happening unless they change their minds out of Cooper's this weekend. And the Rocheport General Store, who's playing at the store? Let's see here. Music.
Live radio, guys.
Yeah. I love the Rocheport store. I go down there a lot.
You do?
Yeah. I live pretty close. So,
oh, okay.
So that's kind of like my local place when I want to see some...
corner pub.
Yeah. And we have Open Road tonight. They just play some blues. And then Third Switch. I'm not familiar with them.
They're excellent.
Yeah?
Steve Ansiger and Kyle Brown from St. Louis and Joe, I think, Aguirre.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, they're superb.
Kyle playing the bass. And Ansiger plays... They got a bunch of different projects.
Steve's got a lot of bands. He's a hard-working musician.
Yeah, 2-Bit Steve is one that another
with
project.
John Galbraith.
Yeah, with John and Anyway, Steve's great. Okay, so that's Third Switch. That's the 13th. That's tomorrow out at the Rocheport store. And I guess anything else Diana can bring you up to speed on. Because she'll do that at the end of her program, go through some stuff that's happening around here this weekend as well. And that's 20 minutes from now. You got Diana Moxon and Speaking of the Arts, and she'll have a good program lined up for us today. All right, Pippa. So what else?
What else do we talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what's on my list here. I got lots of things. I was going to ask you about if you have any events coming up that you'd like to talk about other than your...
I'm playing a Coma Smoke and Fire tonight.
You play a lot, and you're always
I
about,
do.
So.
I was booked to play host open mic tomorrow at Cooper's, but I think that's cancelled probably. There's a jam session in Hallsville from 4 until 6 for the fiddlers. All levels welcome. Old time fiddle music jam 4 to 6 at the Hallsville High School cafeteria.
What kind of turnouts do you get when you do those?
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah?
Bunch of people. Yeah, 20. I mean, musicians. Yeah. And then related, all their others.
And you get age groups and kids and stuff coming out?
Yeah, kids, small kids all the way up to... We have some people who come from Troy who are very experienced. They're older than me. Mm-hmm. I mean, must be pretty old. Yeah. And they're still dancing and calling.
Awesome.
You have different squares, and each square will have its own caller. So each square will be doing a different dance to the same music because the caller will be calling different moves. Mm-hmm. It's a blast. And then I'm hoping to play with Keith Fletcher's one-man blues band again at Coma Smoke and Fire tomorrow night. He's playing there, the one-man blues band, but I'll probably be a bit late. I like to play the blues on the fiddle with him.
That's great.
Yeah, I like playing the blues on the fiddle.
Yeah, I was telling you at Roots and Blues a couple of weeks ago. He's
phenomenal.
Saw some great stuff. So
yeah. Keith Fletcher is he really gets down on the North Mississippi Hill Country blues.
All right.
Yeah, it's a groove blues.
All right, good stuff. All right, and again, Pippa Letsky on the web at pippaletsky.com. And you do Facebook and all that stuff as well?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know. We're all like, I do.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook, Pippa Letsky.
I would so love to see some alternative social media things pop up that weren't so totalitarian, I guess. I don't like Zuckerberg and these guys having that much power.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There is a Twitter alternative, and they're called Gab.ai, and it is a very
gift of the gab.
Yeah, and it's very free speech oriented. They don't censor unless it's absolutely necessary, and if it involves violence and threats and that type of thing. But Gab's pretty cool, although it's so hard to make inroads against when something gets so big as Facebook or Google or something like that.
Yeah.
My gosh. Anyway, that's enough of our. Talk about that. We're talking about music this morning. So Pippa Letsky on the web, you'll find her. Do a web search. I'm no longer going to do advertising. Like I used to say, just do a blank search, and I would use the name that everybody says all the time because that's where they usually go to search. I say do a web search. I'm no longer doing free advertising for any of these people.
Except you're asking me when am I playing next and
well,
such
that's
like
okay. Anyway, okay. So, what do you think about the Mid-Missouri music scene? You've been in it for a long time.
Yeah, there's so much good music here. I mean, so much. And the fact that you can say Steve Ansiger and reel off about 5 different band names, it's like he's such a fine musician, and we have so many musicians that are just dropped. Your jaw drops with them. I saw John Galbraith at Cooper's last weekend, and
what a player!
He's just. And then Johnny Fox comes up and says, "You listen to this guy, I think I should burn my guitar." I said, "Don't you dare!" Because Johnny Fox has his own superb talent. Totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. I mean, what I do is like folky stuff, I mean, when I'm playing at Coma, Smoke and Fire, I'm playing guitar and I'm singing the old folky songs and the original Odell Letsky songs, and then there's the rock and roll bands and, Pete Skolka and the DiAgostino family. And I mean, there's just so much talent in this little blue bubble.
Right.
In the middle of
the little blue
red
bubble.
state.
That's funny, yeah. And I guess we got to give a tip to the hat to the venues that provide the places for all of you people to play.
Yeah. Rocheport General Store and Cooper's. I tip my hat to Cooper because I started playing with him. I started playing down at Cooper's with Jerome Wheeler. I played in Jerome's band for the last 2 years of his life.
Really?
I was playing bass,
upright
bass.
How fortunate.
And we went down to Cooper's to play there, and that's where I really met Mike Cooper. And then when Jerome died, I said to Cooper, could I do a solo gig? And he said, yeah, sure. And he brought out, he was the one who brought out the PA and set up the PA because I was a total ignoramus. I knew nothing. And I was very nervous and very shy, and I would get people to help me out, and I'd end up being a side guy on my own gig. And after a couple of years, I'd say, wait a minute, this is my gig, I should be up front. So I learned how to go up front, but then he said to me, then he decided that he wasn't going to pay the BMI and the ASCAP and the C-SCAN.
Right, all had to be independent.
Yeah, we all have to be independent music, not registered music.
Yeah.
And so I looked at him and I said, well, I can't sing here anymore because all my songs are cover tunes. They're all bluegrass tunes. And he said, well, you're just going to have to write songs, aren't you? And it's like, Cooper, that's a lot easier said than done,
That's
and
great,
5 years later, here I am.
Fantastic.
Because he quit letting people do cover tunes, and it was like, oh, well, I suppose I better start writing then.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive when you go out to Cooper's. You'll never hear a cover tune. You'll only hear original music out there.
Yeah, so, original and unlicensed. It has to be. You can't. If you license your music with BMI or ASCAP, you can't play your music down there.
Right. Now you can play some of the old stuff, right?
Because, you can play public domain.
Right. How does that work?
Public domain is music that is out of the copyright.
How long?
Well, it's actually out of the performance rights organizations. Is
there a standard like 50 years or 100 years?
I think it's 50 years or 70 years after the death of the. But I mean, of the composer. Mm-hmm. But what are they called? The Carter family, A.P. Carter, took a lot of the traditional music of the mountains of the country, and he put his name on them.
Yeah,
he nabbed a whole bunch of songs that he never wrote.
Right.
He just absorbed them from his surroundings,
right,
and then put his name on them. And the Carter family relatives, descendants, are still getting mail money. Money in the mail from people playing Carter family tunes.
Many of those old songs, nobody knows who wrote them. They came from,
But A.P. Carter put his name on them.
I'll be darned.
He's a clever man.
Pretty shrewd move, I got to say.
Yeah, he's a clever man.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to play one more here from your record. This is the 8th track, and I don't know what the name of it is, but we're going to play it anyway, and then we'll come back, chat for a couple more minutes, and we'll have one more from Pippa on the way out of here, and we'll have Diana Moxon in about 10 or 11 minutes, okay?
Cool.
All right, it's Mike. You're listening to KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. It's Open Mic Radio, and this is Pippa Letsky. one's called Hillsborough Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Tell me the story about that one.
Hillsborough Hotel is a pub on the corner of the road in Hillsborough, Sheffield, South Yorkshire in England is where I stayed when I went to visit my dad.
Cool.
My dad was too old. He wouldn't, I couldn't stay with him because he got worn out real easy, so I stayed in the Hillsborough. They have a Sunday night session. If you're listening in England, in Sheffield, go to the Sunday night Sheffield, the Sunday night jam session, music session, tunes, songs and tunes.
Songs and tunes.
Songs and tunes. And on Sunday night at the Hillsborough Hotel. And I was staying, they had 6 little rooms upstairs, and I wrote that tune up there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you've had an interesting run here, Miss Pippa. You've been all over the place.
Yeah.
We didn't talk much about Australia or New Zealand, but I've been to both those places.
Oh, you have?
And I
love Australia.
I'm with you. Gosh, what a incredible place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, climbing gum trees.
Yeah, I'd like to spend a little bit more time there if I had a chance.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back.
All right. Well, hey, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mike.
And
Open mic.
We'll
Open mic radio.
That's right.
Mike Hagan, he's the one. He's the main.
Oh man, and don't forget to tune in on the 3rd and 5th. Tuesdays, right?
3 to 5
for Music of the World with Pippa, and keep your eye out around town. She's always out there playing somewhere, and you can see her at Como Smoking Fire tonight.
Yep.
And maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, with Keith.
Right.
Yeah, playing the fiddle tomorrow. Tonight, I'm singing songs.
Yeah, but just take a look around, and you can find her on the web as well at pippaletsky.com. One more time, it's PIPPALETSKY.com. And that'll be about it. I will give you my contact information. If you have somebody that you'd like to introduce me to, or if you're an artist as well yourself, and you want to come on the program or say hi, just send me an email at mikehagan@mikehagan.com. You can do that, and you can also find me on the web at mikehagan.com. You can just send me an email or a message through there, okay? I've got John Galbraith coming up in a couple weeks.
K Brothers.
Yeah, the K
Flood
Brothers, the Flood Brothers. I'm hoping to get Molly Healy. I tell you, I've been talking to her, but it's a scheduling thing more than anything. The Daves will be back in sometime in the next couple of weeks just to say hi.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll just go from there, okay? It has been Open Mic Radio on KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. I thought I wanted to play the 5th track, but that's not the one. I think it's the 6th track.
6th is pretty.
That's the one we're going to play.
That is real pretty. That's with Terry McCown on guitar, and he's a superb guitarist.
Is he a local guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's just moved back. I played with his father for years and years and years. His father was a really fine banjo player, and Terry is phenomenal on the guitar. And he's on my website. This tune is on my website. It's first upfront and personal.
Okay.
The first thing.
All right, sounds good. All right, Pippa, it's been fun. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Once again, that's Pippa Letsky on the web at pippaletsky.com. And here's one more song from her that's a real nice one. And stick around. 5 minutes from now, you'll have Diana Moxon and Speaking of the Arts. It's Mike on KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM.